Now on our Daytona, since I showed you what has to happen, I want to put them on the car and show you exactly how they look in position. So you know what a finished product should look like, both from a fastener standpoint and an overall view standpoint. So on our Daytona Charger, we talked about the fenders before. This is what they look like when they're on. We've got a 69 Dodge Charger body. That's how all the Daytonas started, with 70 fenders. And so the modifications that we talked about earlier, where we cut off the lower section of the fender, that's how this looks when you actually marry it up against the valance panel. It's a clean line, clean datum plate all the way across there. There's our shaved inside marker that we'll fill with filler and things like that to make it all smooth. But that's why all those provisions had to happen. You see here, he's got all the pieces welded in place with the mesh. This is identical to the original mesh pattern. Bolts right down like that. 70 Charger out here, 69 back there. Move over to here, you can see the lower valance is now in place. So if you look carefully, you'll see that we have all the bolts in place that hold the valance to the actual fender itself. And then these mounting points back here where they mount to the core support. Additionally, when that nose cone comes in, it's gonna come in like this. It's gonna butt right up against here. It's gonna set right there, and that's gonna give you your finished off nose cone pieces.
Hey Doug, we got those heads on.
We got the heads on, finally.
So what do we got going on now?
So what we're doing now is dropping in our hydraulic lifters.
Okay.
So yeah, the machine shop did a real nice job. So after we got the heads on and torqued down, the next step is to put the valve train on. So we're gonna set our greased up lifters in all these lifter bores.
And just set them in?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I bet I know what's next.
Tell me.
Those push rods?
Push rods.
Push rods.
All right.
Show me what you like to do, Doug.
Well, we like to put a little grease on the endo.
Okay. That's why you offered me a rubber glove, isn't it?
Yeah. So one point to get across is to lubricate all moving parts when you're assembling an engine. I like to use assembly lube on the lifters, the rockers, and all other moving parts when I'm putting these engines together. It's just a good practice. Drop them right down through these little galleys.
Through the galley.
Yeah, through the galley.
Okay.
Engines like lube.
Yeah, especially when they start for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like lube, Doug?
Look, I made a mistake on the math, okay? Sue me, but I know comedy, and this silliness that they're doing over there talking back and forth with sexual innuendos and double entendres, that's not funny. Look at my comedy. My comedy is rooted always in higher intellect type of comedy. There's always a weight of intellect behind each one of my jokes. It's not sophomoric, if I can use that word. I haven't dropped out in 9th grade, maybe I can't. Maybe you don't want me to use that word. But I think it's sophomoric, that type of comedy. And that's exactly why I'm going to hold a comedy workshop here at Graveyard Carz. I think it's gonna be a sign-up sheet. Anybody that wants to sign up and take it can. They'll learn about timing, all right? Having your own original thoughts, not just regurgitating somebody else's comedy that you saw on Saturday Night Live 30 years ago, right? Watch my comedy and you'll see it's very cutting edge.
Here's how we do the Mopar shuffle.
Okay, Mopar shuffle.
Mopar shuffle.
Yep.
We just lay them to the outside.
Ah.
Rock them in. Rock the bolts right down into the holes like that.
Wow, look at that. Like I said, I've built a few crap box Chevys over the years, and I've learned that Mopar is definitely unique. So watching a master like Dougie and learning from him is a wonderful opportunity. Just that little trick on the valve train would save me an hour of fighting when I have to do this myself.
Hey, look at that.
That's a clever trick. If I was doing this in my garage, I'd have probably wrestled with it for like an hour.
Dropped them on the floor.
Yep.
Run them down a little bit.
Okay.
If you want to keep your eyes on the push rods,
I will do that.
I'll bring these down a little bit. There we go. Okay.
I don't see a lot of adjustment in these.
The hydraulic lifters take up all the adjustment.
Wow,
that's the
neat.
beauty of a Mopar.
Wow, it's amazing.
Okay, so I've got this one all ready to go.
You go for it. You do that so well.
Okay.
I did notice the bolts are different lengths. Is that supposed to be the case?
The reason the two inner bolts are longer is because the oil comes up through passages around these two long bolts.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to tighten these down to 35 foot-pounds.
Do we have a different torque wrench?
We do.
Oh, excellent.
It's got lights on it,
Oh, wow.
like a spaceship.
Well, Doug likes his spaceships.
Doug likes spaceships. They never come and pick me up. I'm disappointed my spaceship never comes in.